Ready? I'm not going to press the button. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Share the Love Sundays.
Hi everyone, welcome. If you're here, don't be shy, say hi to us in the chat, ask your questions, leave your comments. We'd love to talk to you today. And we're here with Black Cat Kitchen. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Welcome. Can you tell us who you are first of all and what your channel's about?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm Daniella and I am the face of Black Cat Kitchen, one of two parts of Black Cat Kitchen. And our channel is all about cooking and a little bit of cats. And really what we want to do with the channel is find those recipes that inspire people that people might necessarily not know how or want to make, and just try and make them a little bit easier for people. So, you know, taking those things that you might not have the ingredients for, or they might be a little bit harder to find, and making them with pantry staples and just a little bit more accessible to everybody. So that's the whole premise behind Black Cat Kitchen. I'm one of two parts. So my husband does a lot of the technical background stuff, and he'll be in the chat if you have any questions about that sort of thing. He's more than happy to answer those as well.
That's fantastic. And we know we're going to get lots of technical questions because he is a bit of a wizard at that sort of thing. So I'm just going to say hello to a few people who have said hi in the chat. Hi, Flour, Eggs and Yeast. Hi, John, Lucy's dad.
Hi, Dad.
Hello, Dave and Kathy. Hi, lovely to see you. Hi, Roger.
Hi, Rog.
And hi, Jim from Jim's Kitchen. I had trouble last week, Jim, with that, didn't I? Thank you so much for joining us. And if you're here, hi, Molly Cakes. Hello, pertaining to Rose. Thank you for joining us. If you've got a question for Daniella or for Chris in the chat, please let us know. And hello, Wendy from Simply Wendy Live, Love and Bake, who was our guest last week.
Wendy, thank you so much for coming. It's so lovely to kind of virtually see you all. So, Daniella, when did you start your channel and what inspired you to start it?
So we started the 1st of October of last year. So we're coming up on a year now, which is so exciting for us. Really what the whole reason we started the channel was I started doing sort of cookie decorating classes for friends of mine, and everyone was saying, oh my god, I love your food, I love how you do this, I love how you do that, I wish you could teach me. And the whole premise was we were going to start a business. So we were thinking, you know, I would do in-home classes and show people how they could make their favorite recipes, or even recipes that they were too afraid to try, bring the ingredients with me and just do a whole session for like a group of friends. And then COVID hit, and obviously we couldn't get into anybody's homes at that point. And so we sort of started the wheels turning, and we thought, you know, we really want to do something that shares my love and my passion for food. And, you know, why not make it accessible to everyone? So it kind of just came up that why don't we just make it a YouTube channel? Then everybody can see it. It doesn't have to be in someone's private kitchen. And yeah, so we jumped in on the 1st of October. That was our first video, chocolate chip cookies, and the video's absolutely terrible. So one day we'll probably redo it. But your first video is never very good. And yeah, that was it. And we've been loving it ever since.
That's awesome. And that's so funny because we cringe at our early videos.
It's so embarrassing. It's so tempting to remove them, you know.
But then it's where you came from. And as much
Yes.
as it's a terrible video, and it really is, if you ever go back and watch it, the recipe is amazing. So I just can't take it off. It was the thing that started the ball rolling.
Yes.
So maybe one day we'll redo it with better, you know, lighting and all of the other things that go with it.
Yes, absolutely. I think sometimes people really enjoy looking back and seeing where you came from as well, and seeing your journey. It kind of makes you human, that, you know, you weren't always this fabulous.
That's very kind of you.
Great.
Well,
sorry, Mum.
I'm sorry, Lucy. You can go ahead.
No, were you going to say something about the chat?
Yes. I was going to say, hi, KG. Thank you for joining us.
KG.
And I think it really nicely introduces my next question to you, Daniella, was KG is in Toronto. You travelled from the Toronto to the UK to live. And I was going to ask you, was it a bit of a culture shock?
Yes, absolutely. Quite a few things that have really thrown, or in the past 6 years that I've been learning. First and foremost, the washing machine in the kitchen will never make sense to me. It is absolutely mind-boggling. But I think one of the big things for me is remembering not to say pants in public. So if you don't know, pants in the UK are actually underwear. And I would say, oh, my pants are falling down. And my friend would be like, what's wrong with you? I can't say that. So that's been a big one. But because Canada and England are fairly similar in sort of their personalities, I think that's really, that's been the nicer part of settling in. Just some of those funny words that trip me up sometimes.
We've had a few experiences like that as well, haven't we?
For sure.
Miscommunications. But how do you feel? Do you feel like being in the UK has inspired your recipes or changed your recipes at all? Or have you learned any new skills that you think are particularly British that you've used in your channel?
Meat pies, which haven't been used in the channel yet, but are coming. I love pie. I never had ever in my life made hot crust pastry, and it is amazing. So I can't wait to do a little bit more with that on the channel. And I think there's a stereotype behind British food and it being very bland and not flavorful. And if people are so wrong, there are so many beautiful ingredients here that you can use. Like, for example, my blackberry pie that I made a few weeks ago, it's become a little bit of a tradition to us. And those wild blackberries are just so full of flavor that you just couldn't get. Oh, they're so good. And I just really love utilizing what's local to me and trying to showcase and highlight that, British food doesn't have to be bland. There's so much more you can do with it. So yeah, that's been really cool.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, I think way back in the day, it was very bland, and food that you would eat in pubs or restaurants was not too good, but things have changed so much in the last few years. So it's great that you're really going for that and incorporating Britishisms into your cookery.
Yeah, and I love that video where you went blackberry picking, because obviously you can see all the nice countryside, and it just made me it brought back those memories of doing that when I was younger with my grandparents. It was quite a sentimental video. I really enjoyed that one.
I'm really glad for that. It's when I first visited the UK 12 years ago now, I stumbled upon this village where I now live, and I just thought, oh, one day I want to live here. And it turns out that when I met when I met Chris, he was from that village, and it just sort of worked out like it was destiny. And I just couldn't be more happy. We're just in the perfect location for those beautiful rambles, and I just really love it.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's idyllic, isn't it? That you found this village, and then you found the perfect village, and then you found the perfect man, and hey presto.
It all just fell into place.
How wonderful. How wonderful. We've got some questions. Molly, it's great. Everyone's really chatting in the chat. But she did ask if you did you go to culinary school, or have you catered before? Where does your love of food come from?
My love of food comes from sitting at my nonna's table when I was just a little girl, watching her pull together the pasta and make it every Sunday so that we'd have a beautiful family dinner. And it just really stemmed from there. I mean, both of my nonnas have been great cooks in my life, and I was really fortunate to watch them create their recipes and learn from them, and they passed that love down to my dad and to my mom, and so those traditions really stayed really deep within us and ran through the family. So I love to cook, my brother loves to cook, and it's something that we really like to do together. So I did think about culinary school for a while, and I thought, oh, is this something that I want to do? And to be honest, I don't know why I didn't end up going that route, but I didn't. And I'm glad that I didn't, because it's taken me down this path. But I've always shared my food with people. So throughout school, throughout university, I was always the mum, and I was always, cooking for everybody and bringing in different recipes to try. So while I didn't go to culinary school, I've also researched a lot about food. All I do is think about food, read about food, watch videos about food. So I just try and ingest as much as I can to learn more and more.
And you mentioned earlier maybe taking it into people's homes and teaching in their homes. Is that still something you'd like to do maybe in the future? Or is that something that you think is on the back burner for now because you're focusing on YouTube? Or can the two things go side by side?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that we'd like to pursue a little bit further. So I still have my 9-to-5 job, and I work in the medical field, not as like a nurse or anything, thank goodness. I thank them every day for all of their service. But I work, they've been incredible. But I work in sort of medical devices, and it's, so my job is extremely busy. So just finding the time for YouTube at the moment is the most I'll be doing. But hopefully in the future, that's something that we definitely want to do, is run classes or go into people's homes and be able to have those one-on-ones and build those connections.
Yes,
that would be so good. Yes. And you guys are lucky in the sense that we're lucky in that there's two of us and we can divide up the jobs, and it makes it a little bit more manageable. I have so much respect for everyone. I know there's loads of you watching who do this on your own. It's just incredible.
Honestly, they're amazing. I don't know how they do it.
So you and Chris do separate jobs? I mean, if you just explain what you do and what Chris does, do you ever sort of do each other's jobs to help out?
Yes, occasionally. So I would say Chris probably never does my job because he doesn't like to be in front of the camera. But I do a lot of most of the recipe development comes from me, and obviously being in front of the camera. Chris does most of the editing and all of the sound work, and he does the filming. But there are occasions where if he's been really busy with something, I'll sit down and I'll start chucking in the videos so that we can edit them, and it makes it a little bit easier for him to jump in. And then we take turns, or we work together when we're answering comments, or we're watching all of our friends' YouTube videos as well. We like to do that. And he's really great because he'll sort of set up a playlist and he'll be like, right, okay, we're going to sit down tonight. We're going to watch everybody's videos. We're going to comment on everyone's. So he's really lovely that way. And he really looks after me and keeps me organized.
That is great teamwork.
That's such a good idea about the playlist. You should share that in our groups, then we can all keep up.
That's a great idea, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, that's like us, isn't it, Mum? Like we both do the comments and the watching, and we share that bit, and then we kind of pop in on each other's jobs when we need to, and kind of manage it how we can. I think you have to, don't you? Because you have to just figure it out with life. And
because sometimes one of you is busier than the other for some reason, so you kind of have to help the other out. And but it seems to work really well for us as a double act. For sure.
I definitely wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Chris. So
So talking of technicalities, did you guys have to purchase anything new for your channel, or have any subscriptions or anything like that when you started?
So when we first started, we used my camera that I had bought for myself 10 years ago. We're still using that camera to this date. So it's not the best camera in the world, but it's still pretty good. And we'll use that until, we literally can't use it anymore. And then I think I spent something like £15 on a ring light when we first started. And you know, if anyone's looking to start a YouTube channel, you think, oh, I need to have all this money, I need to have all of this equipment. You really don't. Like, you can do it with an iPhone these days. It's so brilliant as to what you can, you know, create with those types of things. We have now upgraded to sort of an LED lighting system, and it's definitely made our video production a lot cleaner and look a lot nicer, and you can really see the food better. So that's been a bit of an investment, but again, it was something that we wanted to, you know, because we were so committed to doing this, we wanted to really make sure that we were putting the time and effort into it. But in terms of kitchen equipment, I've always had it. When I first moved to the UK and I had nothing, I was like, okay, I need to work this out. I need a mixer. I need a food processor. And I remember trying to make cookies when I first moved here, and I thought, oh my God, I can't believe people do this by hand all the time. But no, that was
really strong arms.
Yeah, just your right arm.
Yeah, you've got one really, really strong arm, and then one that's like no energy at all.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think that is a really, really good point, because you know, you can work with what you have to an extent. How did you find sound? That was our biggest issue when we started. Have you had to do anything for your sound? I suppose you're always quite close to the camera, which is helpful, but
yeah, we do have a microphone that attaches to my camera. That's actually one other piece that we purchased after the first few. So my background pre-moving to the UK, I was actually performing as a singer-songwriter. And so I know a little bit about sound. And all of my musician friends were like, right, you need to do this, you need to work that out, you need to fix your sound on here. And that's sort of like their biggest focus. So I'll still get messages from them now saying, you know, it's getting a little better. And we found that in the kitchen, because it's actually quite sparse where we film, if we close the curtains that are directly behind Chris from filming, we don't get so much of that echo in the sound. So it's been a lot of playing around with things. Another thing that we've just started doing is a lot more voiceover work. So still having the face-to-face and making sure that, you know, I'm on camera because I really want that connection with our subscribers, but trying to make sort of the more difficult parts of the recipe come through via voiceover so that it's a little bit clearer and easier to understand.
That's good. Yeah. Your husband is still thinking of buying another camera. I just saw a little message.
Yeah. He tells me every day.
One day, we saved up for a camera for a while, didn't we, Mum? Because we were using the iPad when we started.
We sort of put it towards our Christmas present to each other, and we saved up for a long time for our camera, and we got one camera and it wasn't right. We sent it back, and then we did some more research and we got the camera we have got now. We were so pleased we got it, and so thankful we did, because it's made it such a difference. So it was, for us, it was really worth it, because we were just using an iPad, weren't we, and a phone, but not the best quality phone. Sorry, Lucy, at the time.
No offense.
I mean, it gets you started, and that's what's important. I think, you know, you can't think of these things as a blocker. You just have to jump in.
Yes, exactly.
That's so true. Yeah, we didn't want it to be something that was like going to prevent us from doing it. Just areas for improvement.
Yes. And can I just say, I've probably missed some other people. I see Eleanor elaborates us here. Hi, Eleanor.
Hi, Eleanor.
And Canva tutorials, like it or not, welcome. Probably missed other people, but thank you for coming. Let me see. KG says, I have a few reviews about the items I use for my filming. Maybe worth watching a few just to get some ideas. I am by no means an expert, but trying to be creative with the tools I have. Amazing. So he does a lot of reviews on cooking equipment and all sorts of equipment too. So it's nice to watch other people's reviews and get opinions, and you know, because it's very difficult sometimes when you're looking for a piece of equipment, whether you are reading something that's been sponsored or not, and whether you know you're getting the whole true picture. So it's best to do lots of research first, isn't it?
That's and check that out.
Wendy says she's loving Filmora, Lucy.
Oh, good.
Yes,
Good, me
yes.
too,
Thanks
Wendy.
for
Yeah.
suggesting. Oh, good. We're so happy about that, because when you suggest something and somebody buys it and then they hate it, it's just
You feel so much personal responsibility, but that's
It's
great,
scary,
Wendy.
isn't it?
yes, yes.
Yeah. What does Chris use to edit?
Chris uses Movavi, and I think he's upgraded to, it was a free version. I think he's now upgraded to a paid version to be able to get more, changes and all the sound things that go with it. And we've also just recently subscribed to Artlist, which has so much amazing music. So that was something that we really wanted to do. We found we were constantly using the same music over and over again.
Us too.
And you hear it in all sort of new YouTubers. You're like, I know that song.
Yes.
I've heard that song before.
I know, you hear it in ours all the time, because we just go to the audio studio and Alicia say, can you find some 1960s music? And can you? You get like one tune if you're lucky.
But no, that's been really brilliant, and we would highly recommend Artlist if anyone's looking to invest in their channel and their
Chris,
music.
can you type it out in the chat for us, and the editing software you use, so that people can see? That would be really helpful. Thank you.
Sorry, I just gotta let my puppy out 1 second.
Yeah, I mean, there's also epidemic sounds that some people say is really good for music too. I mean, I don't know what you guys use in the chat, whether you recommend one over the other, but we really must invest in that at some point, because you said it's getting a little bit samey.
Yeah, we were just saying that's the next thing we wanted to invest in, was something for new music. So that's really helpful.
Yes.
What we've loved about Artlist is even if you cancel your subscription, any music that you've got the licenses for, you don't have to go and change. You can keep them. Whereas some of them, you would have to then remove them because you're no longer subscribed. So that's what we thought was really great about Artlist.
Yes.
That is good to know. Yeah, because you might come to a point where you don't want the subscription anymore. Then wouldn't it be sad to have to remove all your videos?
Yeah, exactly.
You see, actually have to remove the videos, or just not be able to use them again?
So in some cases, you'd actually have to remove the sound to the video, which can be damaging to your channel.
Gosh.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have the license anymore. Chris, I think, is going into further detail in the chat.
All right, cool. Yes, thank you, Chris.
With Artlist, once you've downloaded it, it's yours. You can use it, and that's a really brilliant sort of.
That's a plus, isn't it?
Yeah, really good bonus.
Yes, KG and Molly and Canva tutorials are saying they use the list, and they use Canva uses Pixabay. Does have some free options for music. Yeah, we use them for pictures. Do you sometimes get music from there, Lucy, from Pixabay?
I didn't know they did music. No, I didn't know that.
I should have known that, because I'm usually the one who finds the pictures from there. So sorry about that. I will look.
We learn so much every Sunday, don't we?
Yes.
It's so good.
Chris has come back on one thing. He says, if you decide to cancel your artist subscription after the year is up, you can continue to use the music you downloaded forevermore. So that's great. Good. Ellen, who uses iMovie audio and non-copyright music. Let me see. Yeah, okay.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you for that, everybody. Yes.
So I'll ask you another food question now. I'm sure this will be quite a different one, but if you could recommend just one recipe that you think everyone should try from your channel, what recipe would you recommend that they try out?
It's so tough because I have so many favorites. I'd probably say my pad thai recipe. Pad thai to me was something that I was always afraid of making because you had to have, different types of palm sugar and tamarind and all of these sorts of different things. And I just thought, nobody's going to have that in their kitchen. It's so daunting to think I need to go to a specialist food shop to get this. And I've tried to simplify it and make it really easy. And I actually introduced Chris to pad thai. He'd never had it before, from our local Thai restaurant, and he fell in love with it. And then I made it for him the week after, and he was like, it's just like I had it, like from the restaurant. You wouldn't know any different.
Wow.
But I made it with almost everything right out of my pantry. So I'd say start with that one. If you are only going to make one, start with that one.
I have to do that because we love Thai food. So yeah, pad Thai.
So
okay.
good. Yeah. And I think the most complicated or the most difficult to find ingredient would be fish sauce. And that's not very hard to find. So definitely give it a go. It is delicious.
Oh, I must say, I love what you're doing to make these type of recipes and things accessible to people, you know, either with the ingredients or just through like amazing tips. Like, you really do well at that. And I think that, like, for someone like me who's quite daunted by cooking and the kitchen in general, like it's just quite reassuring, you know.
And that's actually this is the great part about having Chris in the kitchen, because he doesn't cook, or he's gotten much better at cooking, but he really, like, it was a Sainsbury hot meal that he'd pop in the oven, and that would be
me too, Chris.
Yeah, brilliant. And so I'll be sort of in the middle of filming and creating a dish, and he'll be like, right, but I need you to explain this to me, like explain it like I need to make it, because I have no idea what you're doing. And so that's really helped me frame it in that sort of sense of right, how do I make this as easy as possible so that everyone can make it?
I love that, because there's nothing worse than you look at these cooking channels and you know, on TV or on the YouTube or whatever, and then the list of ingredients, you think, oh, I've got to go out and buy all those, and what about if I don't really like it, or I can't be bothered to make it again? And it's so nice to get that recipe, but pare it down and use stuff that you've got already in your kitchen and will use in future. That's fantastic. I love that concept.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's been really good for us. We've eaten a lot of pad thai.
I'm not surprised. So, would you say that's your favorite thing to make, or is there something else that you just love to bake or cook?
Yeah, chocolate chip cookies. I've been making chocolate chip cookies, the exact same recipe, for the last 20 years. And it is hands down my favorite. It's when you're sad, chocolate chip cookies. When you're happy, chocolate chip cookies. Like, it's just the perfect recipe, and just the smell of them coming out of the oven. There's just such a warmth about them that to me, it's the perfect thing to always have, chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. I'm really craving them now.
Well, I have a very easy recipe. The video's terrible, but it's very easy to make.
Okay. I will look it up.
It's channels like yours. I wish they'd invent smell-o-vision, because you just know it's going to smell amazing.
Yes.
Oh,
it's funny. Need to work on that.
Yes, definitely. How can we make my cookies come right through your computer?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So we have to talk about the cats, because they're in the name of the channel. They must be important. Can you tell us a little bit about Gordon and Kiki? And
absolutely. Kiki's having a little nap next to me, so I'm just gonna Chris is just gonna pass her over to me, and you can see her. Here she is, my sweet girl.
Oh, sweet.
She's so sleepy.
Very sleepy. She's such a cuddly girl. My love of cats stems from being very, very small. My first cat was given to me as a Christmas present when I was, I think, 2 or 3. And the love affair started very, very early, so much so that I never wanted to leave him alone. I think he probably hated me. I tried to pull him in the bathtub with me on several occasions. So please don't pull your cat from the bathtub. But the love started very early for cats. And again, when I moved to the UK and I didn't have any cats, it was just such a lonely time. They're just so wonderful. They've got such unique, beautiful personalities. And it didn't take me too long to convince Chris that we needed to have a cat in our life. So we got Zelda, who we lost a few months ago, sadly, but she was just my absolute princess, and I loved her to bits. And then about a year and a half ago now, we got Gordon, and Gordon is our gentle giant. He's very shy. He doesn't like to be on camera, so I usually have to give him a couple of treats before I pull him into the channel, especially for the goodbyes. He's like, yeah, if I'm not getting a treat out of this, this is not happening.
It's not happening.
And then Kiki just loves everyone and everything. So we've had her for 2 months now. And she's just such a little sweetheart. She sleeps with us. She's a cuddly, independent girl, and yeah, she's just gorgeous. And I think black cats especially, because so many people just have such, bad, horrible thoughts about them, and I just want to make sure that as many of them can be loved as possible, really.
Oh, well, if they're all as cute as little Kiki, I'm sure they will be.
Cute.
Adorable.
Yeah. And we always look forward to the goodbyes when the cats come on and they have their little thought bubbles. It's just so cute. We do that
Chris
with Layla
always comes
too.
up with the best things for them to say. It's like he's in their brains, I swear.
It's like, it does look like it's thinking that. Yeah. I love that. And I think that's, have you found that that's helped people connect with your channel a little bit, because people love their animals, and there's that connection you can make with other animal lovers as well as food lovers too.
Yeah, it's been a big part for us. I mean, we have people who don't necessarily follow food channels but are there for the cats. We're actually doing a collaboration with Kate from Bake That next month, and she also has 2 black cats, and October the 27th, I believe, is Black Cat Appreciation Day, and so we're going to share some facts about our black cats and do some black cat themed recipes as well, so we're really looking forward to that. But it really has brought some interesting followers that we've been loving to get to know as well.
Oh, that's great. That's so nice to have that other dimension to your channel as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I think, we've kind of found that too, haven't we, Mum? Because we didn't have Layla when we first started, but she's really just
part of the channel now, isn't she? She insists on being part of the channel. She always makes an appearance, and it's usually by doing something a little bit naughty.
Yeah,
but that's why we love them. It's the best part.
They're so cute. Yeah.
And you mentioned also in there, you mentioned collaborations. How have you found collaborating with other channels?
Absolutely. I'm just going to put her down.
I think you have a collaboration coming up next week as well.
I'm not in that one next week, actually. I'm not.
Oh, you're not. Oh, that's
no. Unfortunately,
you're not doing the club this time. Oh,
not this time. But we have plans to do more. Don't worry. And we've done a few with you guys, which we've absolutely loved. So if you haven't been following along, there's a little group of us that have been doing sort of these time travel dinner parties. They've been fantastic. And Julie and Lucy have been adding in sort of their flair for whatever happens in that decade, which has been amazing. I think that information I love history, and so that's so cool to hear those all of the things that you've added in as well, and they've been brilliant. But yeah, definitely check out the videos next week. I'm looking forward to seeing them as well. I was a little bit concerned about collaborations from the like very first time we did one. I just thought, how is that going to work? I mean, I really don't understand. We can't be in the same kitchen. Like how are we going to make that happen? And one of our followers from pretty much the get-go, Rebecca from Rebecca's Adventures, she's just the sweetest girl, and she does like a little travel vlog, and she's so lovely, and asked if we could do a collaboration, and we thought absolutely 100%. How can I say no to this sweetheart? And so we did a no bake Oreo cheesecake, and Rebecca baked one, I say baked, they're no bake. Rebecca made one, I made one, and we weaved it together in the video, and it just turned out so wonderfully. And from then on, I just thought, I love doing these. Like, it's such a great way to meet people and really form friendships like that. I just never expected that in YouTube. And I think the collaborations are great because my followers might not necessarily have ever found the two of you. And by doing a collaboration with you, they can then follow your story and all of your videos. And especially for my followers who have sort of seen me move from Canada to the UK, they're seeing it from the other perspective as well. So I think that's so cool. Yeah, it's been great. I actually think that they're one of my favorite things to do now on YouTube after all that.
Yeah,
We
yeah, they
totally
are fun.
agree.
We've had so much fun and met so many lovely people doing it, and it opens up your channel. You know, it gives you other ideas, doesn't it? And you know, that you may not have thought of yourself, and it gives another sort of level to what you're doing. You know, it sort of you know, it's all good. It really is, and yeah, and it really does lend itself, I think, to cooking channels. You always see, you know, when we watch all your fantastic channels that you're doing some collab or other, and I think, oh, that looks really fun.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't shouted out. Oh, there's some people. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the chat, and it's lovely because you're all answering each other's questions and talking with each other, which is so lovely. Hello, Catalina Treats, gluten-free bakery. Hi, Jessie.
Hi,
And
Jessie.
hi, in the kitchen with Karen. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Karen.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming along. And maybe I should say at this point, if you haven't already checked out Black Cat Kitchen, please have a look because you'll really enjoy it. Link is in the description. And please, if you can, just give us a like on this video, it would really help. And next week, we'll just quickly mention we've got some really fabulous guests for you too. They are the Lockdown Travelers. They are Australian young couple who have been traveling all over the world and have had some amazing adventures, haven't they, Lucy?
Oh my goodness, yes. Yeah, they've had an incredible time.
Yes, so we're really looking forward to seeing what's happened with them. So that's next week at the same time.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, yeah, we can't wait. They're brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah, I think it's going to be somewhere in the middle of the night for them in Australia, but they're up for it. Well, they're young and they're keen, so yeah, that's no problem. We'll do it.
So you mentioned there, Daniella, that collaborations, one thing that's been good about them is attracting subscribers to your channel. Are there any other ways that you've found that have been helpful to attract subscribers?
Yeah, definitely. There have been a few other things that we found have been really helpful, especially in the last few months. We've really been focusing on all of our social channels. So we're on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and really sort of trying to push different content on there. So maybe some things behind the scenes, or, you know, when the cake that we tried to film 2 weeks ago absolutely didn't turn out, these things happen. But I think it just makes, again, it just draws people in that sense. I actually had a message from somebody today saying, oh, someone posted your link on Reddit. And I just thought that was the coolest thing. So yeah, brilliant. Like those kind of things are just so exciting, and they had got it from like Instagram or something like that. We also have our website that I post all of the recipes on. So I know that when people are searching on Google, they might not necessarily jump straight to YouTube, but we've had quite a lot of views come through our website, which has been excellent. I tend not to sort of write out all of the instructions on there, just sort of what you need, and then you can watch the video to work out how to make it.
That's a good idea, because if you wrote all the instructions, they might not watch the video. That's a very clever idea. I like it.
And I think the other big thing for us to get subscribers, we've been doing a couple of little giveaways, and they're sort of like a subscriber bonus giveaway. So, you know, at a certain level, I think we did 300 and 600, and our next one will be 1,000. And people need to subscribe and comment on the videos. And that's been so fun, and people really get into it. And so that's been a really big part that I think has drawn people in as subscribers.
Fantastic. Brilliant ideas. Yeah. How are you finding TikTok? We keep thinking we need to get on it, but we haven't done so yet.
I think you guys would do brilliantly on TikTok. I don't know if you saw the lady who was American and is living in the UK, and she made a cup of tea on TikTok, and it exploded. It just went absolutely viral. And I've become very particular about my tea since living here now. And she like put the tea bag in the mug and then the water in the mug and then put the whole thing in the microwave, and people just kicked right off. So I think you guys would do so brilliantly. I think your content is what people want to see. So definitely check out TikTok.
We should, man. Now you said that. We were always a bit nervous about it. We really should. Yeah.
I know.
It's always the time factor, isn't it? Trying to do everything whilst, working and having another life too. That's very difficult to juggle everything.
It really is.
Yeah. We one day we will do this, won't we, Mum?
We are going to do it. And when we, do this full time, we will have more time to do these things. That's the dream.
That is the dream.
That is the dream. Yes, that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
You just reminded me of a comment we got on one of our videos recently. It's obviously from another Brit trying to be rude, said, "I bet these two make their tea in the microwave." I was like, how dare you?
Microwave?
Daggers.
How dare you?
Well, that is the worst insult I've heard. Yeah.
Honestly.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind jam or cream first.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, funny.
I think they're talking about shorts in the chat. Let me have a look. So well, I don't know if they are, but can I ask you about your short videos? Because you've had some go really, really well. You've had some main videos go really well, go viral. What is the secret?
Shorts, I think there was a short window for shorts to really take off, and Chris and I have had a really good chat about it, and I'm not sure that that's something that we're going to continue pursuing. Shorts, I think now that they've opened up shorts to everybody, and it's not so niche, it's a lot more difficult to get put on that short shelf.
It is.
So it's so challenging. And I remember that one that went viral, and I had gone to bed, and I woke up in the morning and Chris was like, "You need to open YouTube." And I opened it, and we were at something like 67,000 views on this video. And I literally just started crying and like watching the subscriber numbers go. And it was just phenomenal. Like I have goose pimples now just thinking about it. And they can be really helpful for that. But again, it's finding content. Shorts are a really difficult platform for, say, a recipe. So we find if we are going to do like a shorts video, it's got to be around some sort of hacks that aren't necessarily on how to make something. Our latest was, again, in the kitchen, little hacks that you can do.
I love those. I love those little hacks, Daniella. I found them so useful. I love things like that. So please make some more.
Cling film in the
we'll definitely think about it.
Yeah, cling film in the freezer. I absolutely loved.
That was Karen. Karen in the kitchen.
Karen. Yes.
That was all her. She shared it. Gosh, it must be 6 months ago now, and it's been a life changer for me.
Yes. Yeah, I'm definitely going to use that one. Yeah. It's very difficult, even though you get all these views, which you did. Do you know how many subscribers you got from that, and how many people stayed with the channel? How well did it do in the end, for your channel?
So the one that went really viral, we got, I think it was about 120 subscribers in total from that. And I would say we probably lost about 20 from that number. So 100 in the end, which is brilliant.
Yeah, it is brilliant.
A small channel, like that just it was mind-boggling for us. So yeah, I mean, if your content fits the sort of idea of it, do it. 100% do it. You just never know. It might get picked up, and you might be able to run with it. We'll see. Maybe shorts are still in our future somewhere down the line.
Well, especially now they're going to give out money for successful channels, to actually produce them. So obviously they're keen on promoting them. YouTube, if they're going to actually donate money funds for people to make
Yes.
them. But as you say, that's going to make it even more competitive and even more difficult to do well, I would imagine.
Yeah, we kind of thought the same thing, didn't we, Mum? We'll do the occasional one, but we're not going to put like as much. We'll probably put the same amount of effort into each short, because we always do, but we're not going to put so much of our time into shorts in general, because you know,
we do put a lot of effort in if we do a short video, and you know, you kind of see other people just talking to camera, you think, we did all that effort and then you only got a few views. You think, why did we do that?
Yeah, it can be so frustrating
and everything.
Yeah, I know. And it was really, you know, a lot of editing and everything, and a lot of faffing around and a lot of research. But yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because you just don't know what it is that's going to be picked up. So it's a gamble, you know, and if you really like a good gamble, you know, it might pay off. If it doesn't, you haven't lost anything really, apart from your time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So you mentioned...
KG says he's never done a short, but interesting to hear your experiences doing it. Yeah, we haven't had one go that viral, have we? What was the most views? About
like 11,000. Yeah.
12,000. For Layla.
Amazing.
Yeah. And it was just Layla and my husband, and neither of us were in it.
We weren't in it. That's the ironic thing. He was working out and Layla jumped on his back when she was a tiny puppy. And that just went viral, and we're nowhere to be seen. So that tells you something, doesn't it?
We should just make Layla videos. That's what...
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
She can have her own channel.
Honestly, if I had the time, I would definitely make a channel for her, or maybe like a TikTok for her or something, because she's always doing hilarious things. I just feel like I need to have a camera on her constantly for when she's doing something funny.
You should. Can I just go back to the shorts thing? Sorry. Flour, Eggs and Yeast have got some advice. When you get a runner like that, you're supposed to try to produce one that is the same type of idea. Like if it's about a cake, do another cake for the algorithm purposes. We did run with quite a few Layla videos after that, didn't we? And some were more successful than others.
Yeah, we didn't have one that repeated the same thing. Some of them did all right and some of them didn't. But
so that is good advice.
Yeah, that is good advice, because it can really work, you know.
Yeah, Chris says that you did do that one, and the second one got 3.2k views, which is still really good.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, so that's definitely worth knowing. The other thing, not shorts, but the other thing you've been really successful with, we're very pleased to see, is the British Bake Off. When you did the technical, like when Wendy did, you did a technical challenge. Those videos got so many views.
Yeah, I really love doing them. So it's kind of like a little game that I play with myself, where we'll watch the episode from this week, and then they've got the tiny little sequence that's going to happen next week, and I have to try and guess what the technical is going to be, so that we can film it at the weekend and then release it straight away.
Oh, so you released it at the same time as that technical on the TV?
That's a good idea.
So if they're launching their show on a Tuesday night, by Wednesday afternoon we wanted our video out there and ready to go, because people are starting to search for it, and especially in America they launch it on Fridays, don't they, on Netflix? And so if it's already there and it's already starting to get that momentum, then hopefully it'll get sort of picked up, which is exactly what happened with our chocolate babka recipe. I had been making babka, and I love babka. I'd been making it quite often, and as soon as I saw that, I'm like, they're making babka next week. I 100% know that they are. And so ours was really the first video that got on there that mentioned babka and Great British Bake Off, and I think that that's what made the difference. So definitely it starts this Tuesday, and we'll be keeping our eye out, and we'll be trying to do some more technicals.
That's a great idea. Do you have any other suggestions about how to find like trending topics, or what's hot right now, or like, this is what we really struggle with, because we're not very down, are we, Mum?
Because Flour, Eggs and Yeast advises how to look to see what's trending.
Yes, thank you.
We have looked, but we haven't found it.
No, I'm never trending. I'm like old now compared to what's in. I think what we mostly do, I mean, we've sort of missed a few of the little food trends that have gone out, but we try and stick to like major holidays, or knowing that like it's World Nutella Day, so we'll do something about Nutella. But I think that's the best advice I could give, is just trying to work out what might be a hashtag, that what might be coming out. So if it's like, I don't know, International 70s Music Week, focusing on something like that, just trying to look at the calendars in advance and try and work out what might actually do well in that time period. That's probably the best advice I could give for that.
That is, yeah. And then, like you say, doing it before, so that it's already up.
Yeah.
And you're there in amongst the content when people are searching for it.
Yeah, if you're one of the few, you sort of get that traction, right? If you're the first ones in there.
Then if you're too late, there's so many above you that it's so you really need to be on the ball. Great advice.
So all that being said, Daniella, how have you come to define success on YouTube, or what do you think would make you feel, yes, my channel is successful?
It's funny because YouTube sends out these funny little emails saying, you have as many subscribers as 2 747s. And I got on a plane recently to visit my family back in Canada, and I thought, all of these people could be my subscribers. And it just made me feel like my heart just fluttered. For us, I think success sort of long term would be at least one of us being able to make it our full-time job. And if that was Chris and he got to sort of branch out and do other editing pieces, that would be amazing. Eventually, long term, we'd like it to be both of our jobs. But I think that's a big dream, and we're hoping that we can one day get there. But that for us, that would be success, just to be able to make his life easier and make sure that he can do what he loves every single day. And, I just get to dabble and I get to cook, and that's brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. Layla just tapped my keyboard with her nose and she's got rid of you. 1 second. Oh, so naughty.
Oh, you little cutie.
Naughty Layla. I think it's so important to do something you love, isn't it? Because quite often we go to work and often we don't really enjoy it, watching the clock and, wishing you were somewhere else. And it would be, it's your dream, isn't it, to do a job that you absolutely love. And that is the dream, whether you make a lot of money or not a lot of money. And if you make enough money to sort of survive, if you're doing it because you're loving it, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, we really hope that does happen for you guys,
and likewise.
Thank you. One day,
definitely deserve it. You guys
Thank
definitely
you.
deserve it, because it's a fabulous channel, and I'm sure you will get there because you're doing all the right things, and so I'm sure you will. It just takes time, doesn't it? These things, it doesn't always happen overnight.
No, and I think patience is really important. Consistency and patience, and just knowing, if like you said, if you're loving it, then it doesn't really matter. It's not a job to me to film all weekend long, because I'm going to cook anyway, so I may as well. So it's brilliant. We just love it.
That's great.
That is important.
And that does come across it comes across in your channel that you love it too. It really does, and that is so important.
Thank you.
So everyone in the chat, if you have a question for Daniella or Chris, now would be a great time to pop it in. If you're just joining us, Chris is great with all things technical. So if you have a technical question, and obviously Daniella is an amazing cook, so she can answer your cooking questions if you have any. And I'll ask them the last question that we asked to all our guests before we say goodbye, which is, if you could take everything that you've learned so far on your YouTube journey and condense it down as much as possible into one piece of advice for someone who's maybe thinking they might like to start a YouTube channel, or someone who has just started their YouTube channel, what advice would you offer someone to kind of kick them off and send them on their way?
I know a lot of your guests say consistency, and that is a really important thing, making sure that you're not taking breaks from posting. There are occasions where we'll film 4 videos in a weekend so that I can have a weekend or 2 off to, go out and see friends or whatever it happens to be. But I think what it really boils down to is what we were just talking about, and being passionate. If you're going to make a YouTube channel, make it something that means something to you, and it will come across and people will want to watch you. And it won't ever feel like you're doing a job, or it's ever a hardship to make your videos. Just love it. Just love what you're doing, and know that you're sharing what you love and your passion with everybody else. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, that well said. I agree. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think if you can hit on that subject that you really do feel passionately about, everything else kind of falls into place in time. And I do totally agree with you. If you can just find that subject or that hobby or whatever it is that you really love, then it's kind of, that's the first thing you need to think about. I completely agree.
Yes. Dave and Kathy Hyde says, when you reach our age, it is our full-time job. Of course, the pensions and social security help. Absolutely. I mean, it is another job, isn't it? It's great when you retire and you can devote all the time to something that you love, it's fantastic. And rather than just sort of, sitting in a chair and, just poddling about or piddling about. Yeah, that's very true. KG has got a question for you. I'm not sure why you moved from Toronto to the UK.
Everybody asks me this, and I always jokingly but not jokingly say the weather. I visited the UK some time ago, 12 years ago, and absolutely fell in love with it. To me, it just felt like home. It was such a beautiful hub to be able to travel to other places in the world. And there were so many places I wanted to see and so many things I wanted to do. So I had an opportunity in my life where Canada and the UK have this tier 5 visa that if you're under 30, you can work in the other country for 2 years. And so I thought, you know what, that sounds like a great opportunity. I have a beautiful friend, Laura, who said to me, come and stay with me for a few months, see if you like it. And if you don't, you go back. And if you do, you stay. Like, that's completely up to you. And so without her, I wouldn't have had the opportunity at all. So I moved in with her and her 2 kids and her husband and her, at the time, 6 cats, which was awesome for me. And I just fell in love. I fell in love with all of it. The countryside, being able to get the train into London and, even like all of the smog that you get. There's just a feeling about being there. I loved it. But then, going back and, being able to be near the animals and watching the sheep have their babies. And it was just, it's just magical here. I just think for me, it's home. And I think Canada never really felt that way to me. My parents are both, my dad moved to Canada when he was 6. My mom was born in Canada, but her parents moved to Canada just before she was born from Italy. And so I guess deep down in my roots, it just never felt like that's where I was meant to be.
That's interesting. Yeah.
It's funny when you land in a place and it just, something about it feels right.
Is that how it felt for you?
Yeah, it's hard to explain, but like there was just a feeling, like I remember the first evening I was here in Arizona and watching the mountains change from like orange to purple and then slowly to black. I can't even explain it. It's just everything just felt right, and I must say, do you agree, Mum, that everyone here in Arizona has been so friendly and welcoming?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The people are lovely, which is a huge thing. And it is a beautiful place to live. I'm kind of a little torn between the two because I love it over here. I'm in the UK at the moment because I didn't go over to the States until I was much older. I love it over there and I love it over here. So it's nice to have the best of both worlds. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, thank goodness, for your friend and how fortunate.
Isn't it funny how these things happen? Like,
yes,
it's random.
Yeah,
all falls into place in the end.
It does.
Absolutely, it does. It does really. Yes. I think that's it with the questions, I think. So it's up to me just to say thank you so much, Daniella, and also thank you very much as well, Chris, for being in the chat and being very busy and answering lots of questions. That's a great way to do it because it really takes the pressure off me as well. So having that expert there answering questions in the chat. Thank you, everyone in the chat. You've been fantastic. You know, there's so much going on. It's wonderful. If you're watching on replay, thank you too. So next week, Lockdown Travelers. And again, thank you, Daniella. You've been so interesting to listen to. So much fun.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very, very welcome. And have a great week, everybody. And we'll see you again next week. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.